Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Charlene Shurkin. Welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us from New York, New York, is Chris Colbert from DCP Entertainment. Chris, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Thank you.
So tell us what you do over there at DCP Entertainment.
So we're a media company. A lot of people look at us as a podcast company. So we put out a lot of podcasts, but essentially we're a digital media company servicing these communities of underrepresented individuals, people like LGBTQ plus, people of color, women, people with disability, and a lot of focus on mental and emotional well-being. It's all about creating an opportunity for these people to have a platform that they might not have in mainstream media.
And how do you help them get that platform? So someone has a message, someone has a voice, they want to be heard, they come to you. How do you help them be heard?
Well, I think the first thing is listening to them and understanding what are their goals. What is it that they want to accomplish, whether it be make money, but a lot of them, yes, they want to make money, but they want to make an impact. And so who is your audience? We will, work with them to understand, okay, where is your audience? Are they listening to podcasts? Are they also on social media? How do we use our content to cut through to them? And, that can be a wealth of different things. But, this digital platform allows us to reach people in so many different places. So when someone comes to us and says they want to reach a Black audience between the age of 30 to 50, we will work with them to understand where is that audience and how we can position our content to be able to reach them in an organic way, because a lot of times people don't like to be advertised to. So how do we craft our content to make the audience feel part of the conversation? And a lot of that is focusing on the emotional touch points of the conversations that we're having. That way people see themselves reflected in the content, or see, their own lives and their family members reflecting the kind of content that we do. And I think that's what allows us to be able to reach those audiences and work with these different partners that we work with.
And a lot of strategy that I've been hearing from digital marketers and companies that want to help people be heard on particular platforms is create your community. Create your own community that comes to you for this content. But Chris, there's a lot of communities out there. So how do you find your tribe? And you mentioned like, hey, we help them with that. But how do you cut above all that noise of other communities so that you are heard for whatever unique message or voice that you are bringing to the table and to the conversation?
No, it's an important question you ask. And I think for us, what we've done is, though we're trying to focus on all those different communities that I mentioned, we've made the Black Voices vertical, if you want to put it that way. The Black Voices community, our strongest vertical that we're currently working from. I think you have to first find that niche and sometimes that sub niche of what you're trying to go after, and really hone in on that audience. So right now, a lot of our content is very much around the Black community and Black experiences. So we not only now have this, wealth of content that, hey, if you come to us, you're not just going to find one show, you're going to find multiple shows that reflect your experience, but also it allows us to, as say one show grows, we use that audience to cross-pollinate to other shows. And so as one show lifts up, we lift up the other shows behind it. And so incrementally, everything kind of builds on itself. So that's kind of one of the ways that we've been focusing. But I think now taking these steps as we're better understanding social media and especially TikTok and the power there, it's allowing us to reach people with these organic conversations, as I mentioned, these really emotional kind of touch points. And TikTok and say Instagram, but more so TikTok, is allowing us to really cut through that noise in that way, because people have more control over the kind of content that they're seeing. And so if we're consistent with that content, if we're focusing on that sub niche, as I mentioned, it's going to allow us to, spread that message further.
So, Chris, I got to ask you, you absolutely mentioned, if we're consistent with that content. So I heard one strategist say, if content is king, consistency is queen. How do you coach your clients in being consistent about giving you and providing you the content that you can then make sure is heard and seen?
I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be difficult sometimes. You can't control anybody else's life, and we work with a lot of high-profile people, so it's sometimes hard to stay on top of people's schedules. But I think that goes back to first establishing what is your goal. If people are coming to us and just saying their main goal, their only goal is to make money, it's gonna be hard for them to stay consistent, because money can, ebb and flow, especially as recessions may come and go. So if they're coming from a point of, I want to make an impact, it's gonna allow them to stay more consistent, and they're gonna be more open to the kind of things that we're talking to them about in terms of developing that community, as you mentioned, and creating that consistency. Because developing a community requires extra work than just recording a podcast. That requires back and forth with your audience. So I think it starts with, what is your goal? And if your goal is just to make money, then that might not be the partner to work with, or maybe that's not the kind of project that you want to do. It really should be about the impact, because that's going to create that sustainability for you once the money might ebb and flow.
All right, Chris, well, that is great advice. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Please join us anytime you'd like to. We love all your insight, and we'd love to learn more about some of these communities that you're helping create platforms for and create voices for. We're always open to that here on Digital Champions. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Oh, it is our pleasure. And if you'd like to learn more about Chris's doing over there at DCP Entertainment, you can start by checking them out on dailyadbrief.com. Well, I'm your host, Charlene Shirk. Thank you so much for joining us today on Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.